Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Hey, what's going on, family? This is Tyler from No Picks Podcast.
What's up, family? Joe, No Picks Podcast.
All right, so Joe, check this out. I came across this clip on TikTok today, right? It's a clip of a podcast of two older women look like professional black women discussing the problems with gender roles, right, in relationships and marriage today. So I'm gonna pull up a clip, and I'm interested to see what you're gonna say about it.
Okay. Oh boy.
This you see really and women really trying to draw lines on these roles. You know, I see men saying we want women to be feminine. We want them to be soft. We want them to be at home, cooking, cleaning, doing these very traditional roles that sort of lend themselves to duties that women traditionally have done. And then you see, the men saying, I'm gonna, bring home the money.
I'll be the head of the household.
I'll be the head of the household.
I'm gonna be the lead.
Yeah, I'll be the lead. And I think, and you're right. And it's like at this age, our audience is 50 plus. Some of those things don't really apply anymore because, at this age, like you said earlier, a lot of women, if they're single, they can take care of themselves, and they are taking care of themselves. And I think there's somewhat of a conflict in terms of like, how do, a man and a woman get together and try to, get to know each other when we have these, these roles getting in the way. This you see men really.
So Joe, you listened to that, you heard that, right? So this is a question I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna frame the conversation this way. Okay. She talked about some of these roles aren't really applicable to what we do today. Let me ask you a question. Do you think she's referring to the roles that the man roles, or is she referring to the woman roles? Which of these roles aren't really applicable today? Is what I'm. What do you think? What do you think?
We know exactly what she means. And that's a great question and a great way to frame it and start this off. We know exactly what she means. Yeah, the roles that apply to me, to women, those don't really apply no more. We don't really need that no more, right? But I bet you the man is still expected to court her. He needs to open the doors. You know what I mean? He needs to pay for the dates. He's got to be out there making bread. He can't just be no dusty. He still has to be the man. He still has to be the man.
Right.
And yeah, bro, this is, oh my good. And these women are in their 50s. They're in their 50s, bro, talking this BS. And I understand if you're at that age and if you're a woman in her 50s and you're single, or I don't know what their situation, I don't know if they were divorced, widowed, single, but if you're out there just single, right?
Yeah.
You do have to do for yourself because no one else is going to take care of you. So I can imagine you've had a little job. Not a career. Most of y'all got jobs. Y'all be thinking your little job is a career, and it's not. It's a job.
Yeah.
Y'all be having these little jobs, paying your bills, and you can take care of yourself, which is what a grown-up does. That's just being an adult.
Yeah. Y'all
get all hype. But if you were to date, yeah, you got all your own stuff, but you still want a man to be him. See, men want women to be women. Women want men to be men.
Yeah.
But we're in this weird place now where like women have become the men that they want, and then expect the man to still be this masculine leader who makes more. You still have to be better her in every way.
Right.
But Shorty's already at the top some way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not explaining it very well, bro, but it's like these women are becoming the men that they want.
Yeah.
And then they have difficulty finding a man. It's like, bro, I don't want to get into a relationship with a dude. I want a woman. I want you to balance me out. I want you to give me some of that feminine energy because I have the masculine energy.
Right.
I'm taking care of business. I can do this and this, that, and the third. But like, you need to balance me out. Otherwise, there is no balance. It's constant tension.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be in a relationship with a dude. That's how I felt about my ex-wife. I was like, I feel like I'm dating a bro. It's like I'm dating a dude.
I can relate, bro.
I was like, I felt like I was married to a dude, bro. Because I'm like, yo, you were. And if it was a dude, we would have been throw down hands, bro. Because the way that she spoke to me as well, but that's what I'm saying. Like the energy that they give. It's like you gotta have. Okay, so
yeah.
What do you have to? I'm gonna keep going. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
yo, this is why I never really subscribe to anything other than going 50-50. Like I'm a strong
Yeah.
proponent of 50-50. Like now, unless I meet a unique kind of woman, because like, listen, my family wasn't really on that type of time. I was raised by my aunts and my grandma. They was all, hey, we are independent, we don't need men or whatever. So I was raised thinking, okay, cool, women don't need men. I guess, we're together to like combine our lives or whatever, but I don't have to take care of you. I don't have to lighten your load. I don't have to make your life easier, because that was what I
Right.
saw growing up. They're like, okay, I don't need no nigga to make my life easier. And I was always cool with that. So I never picked women based off whether or not I saw and I can make their life easier. Right. So my view on marriage and shit like that has always been, or even a committed long-term relationship, anything, has always been, yo, listen, you pay your bills, I pay my bills, you make your money, I make my money. Like, and you don't need me, I don't need you. But at the same time, like I'm also don't expect you to come to the crib and just, do the child rearing and do all that shit. Listen, I take that shit really seriously. You know what I mean? Like I'm going,
Right.
I'm bathe the kids, I'm gonna put them down, all that shit.
And that's how it should
Right.
be. That's how it really should be.
So
Right.
so I don't expect you to do all that shit, right? So whatever, because I'm not listen, but my issue with how women move today who have this kind of mindset is that those women still want traditional outcomes, but they don't want to do the traditional things that they have had to do in the past, right?
Right.
I had like a long ass conversation with a female friend of mine I knew since college. So her and I texting back and forth, and because she's sending me clips from TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that. She's like, hey, react to this on your podcast, react to that on your podcast. But it's always centered around like, hey, men paying all the bills, we doing all this stuff and this and that. And me and her had this conversation. I'm talking to her. I'm like, listen, I don't agree with this shit, because women today want to pick and choose how, like, what their roles are. Like, if they don't want to cook and
Right.
like how this woman implied, hey, well, listen, I ain't really listen, those roles don't really fit us today. In other words, they
Right.
want to pick and choose what they want to follow and what they don't want to follow, and that's not how shit work, right? Like just like men like how goofy would you sound, or would I sound, being like, listen, I know, you know what I mean, I see myself as a traditional provider male, but I don't really feel like providing. So let's exit that provide. Listen, that
Right.
role don't really fit today. This 2024. Like, I ain't providing shit.
Yeah.
So listen, I
Right.
provide you with dick in bulk, but that's about it. Like, I ain't providing no money. I ain't providing. Listen,
Right.
you gonna have to get your own money, get your own bag, like, that sound crazy. And I think women don't understand how ridiculous that sound. Like, they want to have all the authority of a modern woman today that's a boss babe, but be treated just like a woman in the 1930s that was home taking care of the kids all day. And that shit don't mix. And
It's
it don't mix,
delusional,
bro.
bro.
Like, you want to just pick and choose
It's
the best
delusional.
possible outcome for you. Where I look
Right.
at that and say, fuck you. I'm not doing that shit. So listen,
Right.
you're gonna pay these fucking
Right.
bills. The light bill is $800.
Right.
You gotta grab 400. I don't know where you gotta do. You gotta go somewhere and gamble, roll dice. I don't give a fuck what you gotta do, but you gonna give me that 400.
Right.
Or be a traditional woman, or
Right.
move like a traditional woman, and then I'll move differently. I met maybe one woman that moves like this, maybe two in my whole fucking life.
Right.
But I've been with
Right.
plenty of women, but they don't move like this, and I don't
Yeah.
expect them to. I didn't pick women based off that, right? So I just
Right.
accepted it, and I'm like, okay, cool.
You kind of
I just
adapt.
adapted.
Yeah. You
I'm like,
adapt.
okay, well,
Yeah.
women aren't the same as they used to be. So I'm not going to
Right.
expect them to do.
So you don't have to be the same. Exactly. It makes so much sense, right? Like, so yeah, I agree with you completely. And to the family, to our men out there, the simplest way we can put it, and what Ty is saying, is traditional women get traditional treatment. If you can always remember that, like, if you want to court, you want to pay for dates, you want to, like, be the gentleman, you want to do these things. If she is feminine, if she is traditional, if you get that vibe from her, treat her that way. You can do that. You can do that. You know what I mean? But so traditional women get traditional treatment. Just remember that, because when you see all these modern women, quickly you'll be like, oh no, I know
Right.
what this is. I'm
Of course.
chilling. Like, listen, we going 50-50. We going Dutch. We going to a coffee date for the first date. If I like you, we'll go to the park or a museum. Don't spend that bread up front, because all these like modern women coaches are telling women, oh no, he got to take you to Ruth Chris, he got to take you to, like, all these crazy he got to spend money. You can never do. They're trying to get the most out of you up front without giving
Right.
anything. That is dead. Gentlemen, please do not do that. And to your
No, and
yeah,
I was
go
gonna
ahead,
say,
Ty.
and to be clear, right? I'm not saying that. Like, I'm saying I've always been this way, because I've never met a woman that I would consider like one of those traditional women. if I
Traditional.
did, if I
It's
did
rare.
meet one of those women, then I would move completely differently. Listen, I would want to work more. I would
Right.
want to be like, yo, you know what? Let me get 7 jobs so she can chill in the
Right.
crib, put her feet up. Because when I come home, it's gonna be a traditional situation, whatever, and all that entails, right? So I just
Right.
I got no problem breaking my back for a woman like that. Who I'm not breaking my back for is a woman talking about some. I'm a boss. I can do this. I can do that. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like then, okay, cool. Let's both be bosses
Right.
together. Listen. I don't got to be in
Right.
a position of authority over you in this relationship. We just gonna do shit 50, right? So
And that makes sense, Ty. And I'm glad this is a great point, Ty. And let's stay here for a little bit because we want to make sure the family understands this too. Like, because in my previous relationship, in my previous marriage, she was a modern woman. She was a Marine. She was college educated, 2 masters. Making bread. She was in education, tenure, teacher, all this stuff, boss, masculine. All the things we think about a modern woman, right? So when I got with her, I fell in love with her for a lot of different reasons, right? But we both wanted family. We both wanted to build together. We could have been a power couple because we were both educated. We both had the potential to make so much more money together. We could have ruled the damn world, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? However, she wasn't traditional. So because of that, we went 50-50. And at that time, she was making significantly more than me. I had just finished getting my college degree. I just broke into like entry level salary. So my income went up every year. But at first, she was making a crap. Wait, she was a teacher for all those years. So we went 50-50. And in my mind, that made sense because it's like, okay, we went 50-50. So she cooked, I did the dishes. She cleaned the bathroom in certain places. I took care of the baby. I did the baby's laundry. I did my laundry. I took the trash out. We divvied it all up because it's like, listen, if we're both paying into our bills, then house chores have to be divided as well. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Everything gets divided. That
yeah,
for me makes sense. If you're paying too, if I'm not that big boss provider yet, and if I could retire my wife, I told you, I know you feel differently. If I could retire
right,
my wife, I will, baby. You ain't gotta do shit. But if I retire you, you're take care of the home. You know what I mean? There are some things in play, but it was 50-50, bro. And I understood. So in my mind, I was okay with, doing the dishes. I was okay with mopping downstairs and making sure the basement was in order, like in part contributing in significant ways to the kids. I was hands on with the kids, but also with chores because we're both paying bills equally. That
yeah,
makes sense. And in my mind, even if I was making more money, it still would have made sense with a modern woman because what they do now is they think that your money is our money and my money is my money. So while you're doing all this, trying to go above and beyond and pay for extra bills or take a little off her load, she's
yeah,
putting it in her nest. And when she leaves your ass, she's sitting on racks plus the child
yeah,
support she gonna take from you. So it's a
yeah.
rigged game, gentlemen. Like so if so we're so listen, 50-50 relationships can work. I think the problem is it's not all on men or women, right? It's not both sides contribute to this, but women still want you to do 50-50. I
No,
don't know, bro. I don't know if I
no. You
explained that
did, but
so very well,
gonna
but
tell my own. I'm trying to make this quick though, right? So like, all right. So when I was with my
yeah,
ex, right, we split everything 50-50. We did the chores together, all that shit, right? Just like you mentioned, we got divorced. We were in court, right? And my lawyer was telling me to talk to her. He was like, listen, sometimes if you talk to her directly, it kind of smooths things over to make whatever you want to do next a little easier, right? So that was ended up being a mistake. But anyway, um, so 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 so
yeah.
so her
I
and
was
I
about
get
to
in a
say that.
room and we're talking and we're just like making small talk or whatever. And she tells me, right, because at this time, because back then, right, we were together. She, like, I would say I was making 50 and she was making like 120. Like it was like a huge difference, but I didn't know because we just split the bills down the middle 50-50, and only knew because she filed her taxes
Right.
one year. We went to H&R Block, she filed her taxes, and I saw she was making all this money. I was like, why the fuck you keep asking me for money then if you make all this fucking money? So but anyway, so fast forward to the court date. So we in there or whatever. I'm trying to smooth things over, trying to be nice, play nice and shit because my lawyer told me to. And she said, she was like, I realized at a certain point it was never going to really work out for you and I. I was like, why is that? You know what she said to me, Joe? She said, it's because you weren't interested in being a traditional man and paying all the bills. And I looked at her. I'm That's what she said to me,
So
right? So I looked at her and I said, why would I pay all the bills? You consistently call yourself a boss.
you make
You made
significantly
significantly
more
more
than
than
me,
me.
right?
She was like, yeah, but I wanted my man to pay all the bills, and I wanted to keep all my money. And I was like, no, I was like, oh yeah, well, you're right. I'm glad shit ended when it did because you was never gonna get that shit from me, no matter what. It didn't, like, listen. You
Right.
are the quintessential kind of woman that moves like, yo, these women, even though they move like this, they get their college degrees, they make a bunch of money. Well, not most of them, though. I'm sure she's in a quite small
Right.
percentile of women making that kind of money. But they make this money, bro, and they
Right.
still want you to pay bills. So they want to like this traditional shit. Hey,
Yep.
men pay all the bills and all that. This is, you guys are pretending to be housewives. I'm not fucking, listen, I've only been in relationships with women that I went 50-50 with, because I've never met a woman. Well, I've never met one.
You've never met one, right?
Or if I did, it was maybe one or two in my whole fucking life. Out of the 100 women I've been with,
Right.
maybe two are what you would consider a traditional woman, where I will fucking work my fingers to the bone to try to provide for you, so you can have the soft life as possible. The rest of you chicks got to take your ass to fucking work.
Right.
I don't care if I was making $1 million an hour.
Yeah.
If I was making $1 million a year and you were making $50,000 a year, you're gonna get your fucking ass up and you're gonna go to work, because I'm not gonna be the only one working, because that's not the role you play.
Yeah, that's so true, bro. Have you seen that video that went viral a couple weeks ago of, there was a black couple and the one dude basically was paying all the bills. So they were together. She lived in her own apartment. He was in his apartment. He still paid all of her bills. And she didn't do any of like the house that, like, she was living. He was paying, and it was just crazy. No, it was another black. That was another case. There's another black couple. They were going. So the black guy was paying all the bills, and he was doing like half of the chores in the house and the house as well. So he was paying all the bills and he was doing half of the chores in the household. And I'm just like, bro,
That's a
what
terrible
kind of
thing.
shitty deal is that? You're already providing for everything, and then on top of that, you got to come home and then do half of the chores when she's not paying for anything? Like, how is that fair at all? All of my resources are being poured into you. I'm going out there and working and taking time. I could have been doing anything else I wanted to do, but I'm making this bread. I make sure everything is covered, all the lights are on, all the food is there. And what do you? And then I
Fuck
still got to
that.
come home and do
Fuck
laundry,
that.
and I got to do the dishes, and and it's just like, you're home all day. Your occupation is to be at home. You
To
are
be
the person who
goddamn.
takes care of the home. I don't care if it was, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like, you're home all day. How are you not making sure the house is immaculate? How are you not making sure we got a meal when I come home, or that the laundry is done? You can sit home and put on Real Housewives of Atlanta and watch that while you fold clothes and drink wine. Like,
Yeah.
the soft life really is soft, bruh. Like, I don't understand. So anyway, it happens, bro. And
Mm-mm.
I'm telling men, do not do this. Bro, the fact that she said that to you, and this is so common, bro. And this is why some of us in these male spaces say stay away from the CNAs. You know why? Because they get this training. Most of the time, you don't need a degree. You can end up making 60, 70, 80. And the longer you stay in there, you start breaking six figures. But then the problem is they start making too much money. Then they want their man to make more money. Or they're just around doctors and people making way more money than them. So then they start comparing you to the men and the doctors they see at the hospital or the doctor's office, to your
Yeah.
ass who's driving a bus or doing, sanitation for the city, and looking
Yeah.
down on you because she's around doctors and niggas making money. This is what happens with the mentality. It's not the fact that we are discouraging our women to become nurses or CNAs. It's the mentality that comes with it. It's a lose-lose situation for the man, bro, because either she's gonna discard you or she's gonna look down on you because she feels like she's settling. She's never gonna be happy with you, or she's gonna be fucking one of the
Yeah.
doctors because she thinks she has a chance with him. Remember, we talked about that. The grass ain't always green on the other side, but for women, they gonna take that chance, generally speaking. So yeah, bro, this was interesting, and to take it back, my final thoughts for the older women. Yeah, these women are in their
Yeah.
50s still living this way, and it
They like,
makes me
nah.
sad because you can see they're
Mhm.
still single. They're still out there. I mean, in
Right.
China, they would call them leftover women, and I know that y'all get offended by that, but they literally call them leftovers. Those are what women who have AIDS and still aren't married or just out there single without families. They're called leftover women, and there's no place in society for them, really. You know what I mean?
So
Like,
I'm gonna end it with a
man,
question. The
yeah.
same question I asked you. So I'm gonna
All
ask the
right.
family. Ladies, fellas, what what traditional roles do you think this woman in the beginning was talking about? We need to reevaluate whether or not we need to. Do you think it was the traditional roles that she expects of a man, or is it the traditional roles that are typically expected of women? Which ones do you think she's talking about? Need to be revisited, because we're not really in that time no more. Tell us what y'all think. I'm interested. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, definitely comment. Joe here for the smoke. Um, yeah, until next time.
I'm here. All right, y'all.